Hi, hello everyone, and good morning. I'm Polly Leonard, the founder and editor of Selvedge magazine. Welcome this morning to the second of our tea and textiles talks. This morning it gives me great pleasure to be talking to Hetal Shrivastav of RaasLeela Textiles. I usually start by talking a little bit about how I discovered the brand. I think 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I had the great fortune to be invited to Leela House at the invitation of Lady Bamford. And during that visit, which was extraordinary, I had a lunch with Anuradha Singh, the director of Leela House, and also one of our judges at the Selvedge World Fair. Hi, Hetal, I see you've joined me.
Hi, Polly. How are you?
How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
Excellent. I was just talking a little bit about how I discovered your brand at Jaipur Modern, a super chic eatery in Jaipur, and they have a concept store there. And on the racks of the concept store, I saw these extraordinary garments, all made of off-white hand-woven fabric, and I thought, that's a brand for me. So I set out to search you out, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our audience today. I know that you're based in Ahmedabad. Can you tell me a little bit about the city's textile heritage?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Polly, for inviting me. My name is Hetal Shrivastav, and if I talk about Ahmedabad has always been a merchant of East. After industrialization, lot of textile mills came up in Ahmedabad, and that is why a lot of migrants, shifted to Ahmedabad from nearby villages for employment. And that is the uniqueness of Ahmedabad, that we have lots of textile crafts within Ahmedabad. Like from all around the villages, we have different kinds of embroidery, bandhani, and mirror work possible in Ahmedabad. Yeah, and Gujarat has always been very rich about the craft.
It's really a destination for any textile lover.
Yes.
So the remarkable thing, well, one of the remarkable things about your work is the base cloth that you use. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so Polly, I'll tell you a little bit background of how we started. Like when we started, we didn't had any concepts to follow. We were just making beautiful designs. Whatever I like, I would just design them. But slowly, gradually, how we entered into the market and into the production, and we realized that textile is the most water polluting industry. And we realized how chemical dyes are affecting water and marine life, and we just cannot afford this in the time where a lot of villages doesn't have drinking water. So we thought we got to do something about it, and that's how we came up with this concept of using only natural dye. But then natural dye also has its own limitations, and it still requires lots of water and some amount of chemicals. So we thought it's not a completely sustainable practice. So then we realized, why don't we just use raw fabric in its original form without any process. So we don't use any other resources, and it is a limitation within it, like just to every year produce different designs to give different look within the same fabric. But I think we are very happy to convert the limitation into the identity of the brand.
That's wonderful. It certainly gives all of your garments a very unique aesthetic. The other, the other thing that you instantly notice about your garments is that they are all hand stitched with beautiful colored thread, exquisitely stitched. Can you tell me a little bit about the construction of the garments?
Yeah, sure. So again, the concept of doing 100% hand stitch came up with another limitation. Is when we started the brand, we didn't had enough funds. So we thought hiring a tailor would be very expensive, and we still had a lot of artisans without the work. So we thought, why don't we have artisan involved into the entire production, like from starting to end? Why don't they just make the entire garment? And that's how we came up with this concept of 100% hand stitched. Traditionally, like everything was 100% hand stitch only when there were no machines. Either it was kind of draped or sewn by hand. So artisans already had this sense of doing it hand stitched, but over a period of time, I think they lost it, and there were very few artisans who could actually understand the construction of the garment, like how to join a sleeve, how to put buttonhole, and all those things. So the artisans we are working with are all traditional embroidery people, not someone who has practiced hand stitching. So we thought we'll introduce hand embroidery techniques into the stitching. So it also embroiders the garment as well as it stitches the parts of garment. And there are various kinds of embroidery stitches that we use. And I would say hand stitching has its own limitation. Like we cannot do a regular armhole, the one that we can have on machine, because it is slant. And because of the bias thing, the fabric stretches, right? So we have that limitation. That's how all our garments doesn't have armhole. They are mostly loose feet. And the other limitation, or maybe I would say opportunity, is there are few things that machine cannot do. And so we kind of focus on every design to do something by hand that machine cannot do. And that's how we come up with different kinds of designs. And the technique.
I love that attitude that it's not a limitation, maybe it's a possibility and an opportunity. And I think that's really interesting. I'm sure our listeners today would love to see some of your garments. We featured Hetal's wonderful work in issue 95 of Selvedge. Unfortunately, the print edition of that issue has sold out, but it's available digitally. We also have a small collection of her work available on the website. When I post this video at the end, I'll put a link where you can go and actually see her garments. So that brings us, Hetal, to embellishment. The wonderful one-off abstract embellishment on each of your garments. Can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Yeah, so Polly, normally in a design house, the designs happen with, there's an inspiration, then you you think about the season and the user, and, that's how you come up with a design. But I think we work on a very different way. Because we have a lot of limitation itself, like the fabric is same, the skill set is same. What we do is we check out the possibility and availability of the material. So one is we have base fabric, which is dye-free and bleach-free. The other colorful remnants you see are all sourced out at as remnants, so they're all different every time. So we also have to check out that this year, okay, this kind of remnants are available, so we can make only certain kind of design. So again, we are turning our limitation into the characteristic of the design, and that's how we kind of design our surfaces on the spot. Like we sit with an artisan, we sit with material, and then we discuss what can we do on the pieces. And we very we think it's very important to also involve artisan into surfaces, because we as a designer are strong on design part and they are very strong on technical part of doing it. So, handling certain very fine fabric and doing certain embroidery on it all requires a lot of technical knowledge. And that's how we come up with really practically made products. Like we don't involve into something which is technically very difficult to make. We rather go with simpler processes and simple things for artisans to make. And I'll show you few designs.
So you're the epitome of a no impact brand, the epitome of slow fashion. So no dyes, no chemicals, unbleached cloth, and recycled waste from other textile manufacturers, and hand stitch skill. That is such a perfect package.
And we are literally zero waste studio. So we Like if you come to the studio in the evening when the cleaning lady is cleaning the studio, she'll literally pick up every single piece. Like we don't throw anything. And when I say nothing, it literally means nothing. So all these little pieces of fabric you see, we kind of use them. We ask artisan to place them nicely, and it's all random. I mean, you see, there's one big piece, and it's just the design. I mean, it becomes a design element. We don't sit with pen and paper and think that okay, here we are going to put a big piece just because it looks nice. No, just because we have the bigger piece, we just put it there. You know, and all these surfaces are designed by artisans themselves. So it's not that the artisans are sitting in a corner and just receiving the orders from the designers or the production manager. It's also involving them into the design part. Like they know what they're working on, why they are putting it there, and how can they do it more effectively. So they are all involved into the designing process as well.
I think that innate sense of composition and choice and placement of patched pieces comes from the artisan's generational skills and working with textiles. I think that's incredible. Now, you participated in the Selvedge World Fair. We're coming up to the deadline for applications for the 2021 event, and you participated in 2020, which was a virtual event also. And you had a very special project that you put together. Can you tell us a little bit about that, the collection you made for the Selvedge World Fair?
Yes. So first of all, I would say it was a great opportunity to be a part of Selvedge. Like we never thought an exhibition can be so involving. The collection that we designed was called Unschooled Artist. So a lot of our artisans are actually have not gone to school at all, but we think they are more than us. Like even if I have been to the design school, I sometimes feel they are more inspiring than my work. So we named it Unschooled Artist, and where we actually had artisans design the entire product. Is on the individuality of each artisan. Like if certain person is skilled with certain focus on that, and then will evolve into something else and then something else, rather than teaching them something which they don't know or they don't like. So this collection is completely designed, like from selecting the fabric to the surface to the technicality, the making of it, till the final photo shoot. Everything was done by the artist themselves. This is also to give them dignity of their work, the importance, how important their work is. So, and believe me, it has come up in a very different way. Like we definitely got a very good response on Selvedge World Fair. But on top of that, the artisans also felt very important. Like when they realized that something that they made was sold at an international market at this price, they were very happy with it. And if you like, in the end, I would introduce one of the artisan, and you'll see how happy she is, like how much struggle she has done to do that one particular product, and at the end, how happy she is.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah. I would love that. I have a couple more questions for you first, if you don't mind. So you had a great experience at the Selvedge World Fair. Have there been any long-term benefits to you from participating in the event?
So yes, I think if you talk about business part of the exhibition, it has been a great help for us. Like especially we have been able to penetrate into international market on a very large scale, like globally. And apart from that, I think we also, till now we have been selling here and there internationally. But Selvedge has been a very good platform to share our story, like more of a back-end story, like how we do, who are the people we are working with, how the process is and everything. Because Selvedge has a nice website, and there were workshops and talk shows. So through that, we could communicate our story to the world. And that was very important. And that was very unique compared to other markets, resources. Yeah.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I know we have a workshop coming up with you at the end of the month, and you're busy sending out the very exciting material packs to all of the participants. Unfortunately, that workshop is now sold out, but if any of our listeners are interested in doing a workshop with RaasLeela Textiles, we will try and organize another one. I suggest you drop an email to Catherine, our events manager, at events@selvedge.org, and she will organize a date. I think we're looking at sometime in the middle of April, which will be wonderful. And perhaps you could introduce us to one of your artisans.
Yeah, I'll just call her. Just give me a second.
I can see lots of wonderful garments there in the background of the shot. But if you are interested in seeing more garments, there's a lovely collection on our website.
Yeah, so here she is. Best. So she's one of the older and very skilled artisan. I'll let her introduce herself.
Good morning.
My name is Selvedge.
Good morning, Ketan.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you tell us your name?
Naam ko ma'am.
My name is Selvedge.
Very nice to meet you. And can I pass on my admiration for your beautiful work that you put into all of RaasLeela's clothing? It's truly remarkable. Selvedge runs textile tours to India, during which we visit Ahmedabad. We're hoping to pick up those tours again in 2022, and I hope we will be able to come and meet you in person.
એવું કે છે કે 2021 માં અહીંયા આવવાના છે તો તમને કદાચ તમે એક સ્ટોરી કરવી છે કેવું છે before starting the workshop she told me certain things to tell you is that when she joined RaasLeela she didn't know how to do embroidery without stenciling, like without drawing it. So she was very scared to explore because she would be fearful that, you know, she may be given a redo or she had to open it and do it again and all that. But slowly, gradually, she could do that. And in Selvedge Virtual Fair last year, she designed one collection and she actually developed a surface which is uneven itself. So she doesn't have to, you know, follow certain pattern, and that's her own design. And she said that she's very happy that to know that international people are kind of inspired by it and are actually buying her product. So she told me this before starting.
That's wonderful. Can you say that I particularly admire her sari she is wearing? It looks wonderful. And I hope maybe you will teach me some of your techniques when I next visit Ahmedabad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you again, Hetal, for taking coffee with us this morning. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And we will post the video on our website, and we'll put a link to your website and to the collection on our site also. And I finally wish you good luck. This year, the applications close at the end of the month for the Selvedge World Fair. We have a new selection panel, so just because an artist was selected last year doesn't necessarily mean they'll be selected this year. But we keep our fingers crossed and wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Have a good day.